is Crystal with Pineapple Papers. Happy Sunday. It's super happy Sunday for me because I don't have to work on Monday. It is girls' weekend and I am off Friday through Monday. So um I might be scrapping a little bit. But for today's sketch, we are using Elisa Skowertsky. Oh, I'm so sorry if I screw it up. She makes amazing sketches. So Moira picked this one out, and I was like, you know what? I went through my photos and found something that I had three of. So when we were in Charleston, I'm a big fan of going to churches. Um, and this was the cathedral in Charleston, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And so I took some pictures, and the ceiling is painted with stars. And I was like, okay, I am going to bust out my Cocoa Vanilla No Limits collection that I got from Scrapping Reflections. And when I had ordered the collection, I had also ordered this stencil. It's like a wood grain. And since there is so much beautiful wood in this church, I decided I wanted to add a little bit of wood grain to this star background. So I am just using a blending brush and some distress ink. And let me look here. In Rusty Hinge. So I'm trying to figure out a good place to put this stencil. I thought I'd get it in the right area that you see in the sketch has kind of that, I don't know, lined background. So I took that as stenciling. Now my photos are bigger than the sketch calls for, so it's going to hide a lot, but that's okay. So basically I have three photos. I actually had four, but I end up just going with a three. So one is facing forward to the altar of the church. One is facing backward where you can see the ceiling and the big organ. So that's the first picture, actually. The middle picture is of the pews, which is where that beautiful wood grain comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my photos together. They're 4x6 and I don't trim them down. I keep them exactly 4x6. It does call for a little bit of a matte in the sketch, which I could have matted them all in like a white, and I think that would have worked. I was just a little worried. I was worried that it would be too big. So I decided to go with no matte, but I think a matte is beautiful, and I completely understand why Laura did the matte in the sketch because I love it. So she has two pieces of paper that would act as your shelf per se for your photos to sit on. So I take this yellow, and on the back of this yellow is a beautiful rainbow stripe, and I decide to just cut the blue. Mainly because the bottom of this star paper is blue and green, and so I decided that was the color strip I was going to use. So I turned that one into a banner to represent the banner. And then I needed something for the top. So I went ahead and cut off the branding strip. And with Cocoa Vanilla, I don't tend to keep the branding strips. mainly because they're just like a hint of them. But that hint was just enough to put at the top with the scrap piece of rainbow paper that I had. Now, because I didn't back my photos at all, I felt like it needed something. Like it needed to have some sort of definition separating it. But honestly, I am absolutely in love with this background paper. So, some blue tulle, it separates it. You can tell that, it's backed, but it gives it enough opacity. I don't even think that's a word, but we're going to go with it. So you can see the background. So you get a little bit of the tulle, you get a little bit of the color, but you can still see the absolutely gorgeous background paper. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere all of that down. And I'm trying to get the banner and the ledge to basically sit nicely. I do use some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive because I didn't know about my tape runner on the tool. I don't think I've ever tried it. But I can tell you that the wet glue works perfect. So I'm going to go with that. For the paper, obviously, I'm going to use my tape runner. And I am going to adhere that down. I didn't trim it perfectly, so it does have a little bit of a white border on one side. I decided it's fine. And I just put it towards the white of the paper. And if you look closely, you can see it, but otherwise it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to add this super cute rainbow piece there. And then I am going to start working on some clusters. So in the sketch, there is a cluster where the right two photos come together. And I had this tiny piece of tulle that I had cut off as an extra. I'm going to go ahead and use that as the base of that cluster. So I just add a little bit of tape runner and bunch up that tulle. And then I go off camera and, so I found the title, which is awesome. But I did go off camera and add fun foam to all of the back of that. I didn't figure you needed to watch that. So I put the foam on and I popped it on the top of the middle picture, which is where the title is in the sketch. And then I'm going to work some more on that cluster in the right lower hand corner. I found a sticker with, it's a blank space, so that's where my journaling is going to go. And then I pull out the die cuts and I end up finding a couple stars. So I find 2 stars that I was like, these are perfect. I'm going to kind of have a little bit of a diagonal design as far as my embellishing. And this page is just all about the stars. So I've got the die cut stars. I have some puffy stars that I am pulling now. I guess they're more epoxy. They're not very puffy. I don't know that I would call them puffy stars. But I'm going to adhere those. And then I decided to go off screen and make the stars into shaker pockets. So basically I added some acetate to the back of it, and that I got from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and then added some fun foam all around. I added a super old mix. I think it was with one of the last boy collections for Cocoa Vanilla, so I know it's not available, and added that to the 2 areas. And then I went in my scraps and I found a Bella Besties black and gray grid, and that's what I backed my stars with, and I absolutely love Love, love, love how these shakers turned out. And then I'm going to add some tiny word stickers. One says reach for the stars, one says extraordinary, one says 100% authentic. And that is going to do it. So I love how this turned out. Make sure you check out everybody who is playing along with Sketch Sunday this week. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I love to chat with you. So that's going to do it. So remember to wear your crown, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.